In this video, I'll take you with me on a location sound gig so you can see my process on how I mic'd up 9 talents. Okay, so starting from day one, a potential client had gotten wind that I can do services for them for the audio, and they wanted to get some good audio for a graduating class of 9 acting students. So that included monologues, slates, scenes with one of the other 9 actors in the pool. So I think it's a 2-person scene, yeah. And he gave me a location of where they were going to shoot it, which was pretty clutch because then I can go ahead and walk over to the campus to see what the noise situation looked like. So using the Zoom H6, I went ahead and went to the campus location and scouted to see what I could hear, your basic stuff like cars and your rain, weather patterns, everything like that. Make sure there's no pitter patter in the roof or anything like that, as well as HVAC. Because sometimes whenever the HVAC turns on and off, everything like that. Made sure that everything was noise proof, and it was honestly a pretty sound cured room. So, I mean, I was pretty easy on that front. So the next thing I had to look for was a mixer that suited what the director was looking for. The Zoom LiveTrack L12 was perfect for me because it recorded at 48 kilohertz sample rate and a 24 bit rate. So it's exactly what I needed for film. It was everything I needed in terms of inputs, and it was pretty easy to use since I was used to the Zoom interface. So the first thing I did was I went to Rock and Roll Rentals up in Austin so I could pick up my own copy. Once I got home, I started messing with the mixer and seeing different scenarios that I could practice just to make sure I didn't look like a fool on set whenever I showed up. Then I had some fun.
I can feel it in the air tonight, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord.
There's no way I get paid for this. The next thing I did was I went ahead and packed my sound bag, which is a little fanny pack that I got from Nomadic that carries, my athletic tape for holding body packs in case they're wearing dresses, as well as medical grade tape so I can stick it on skin so you can hide those lobs. Turnarounds, whether it's the 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch, or to XLR for your headphones, stuff like that. I like to carry Sharpies as well and the extra X5 P1. And most importantly, extra sets of batteries for this one. Since it's 9 lavs, I went ahead and grabbed 5 sets of extra batteries, knowing that I knew I was good on batteries, but you can never be too good, just to be safe. Speaking of lavs, I went ahead and used the Sennheiser EW11 2P G4 lavs for my gig. Since I had a bunch of them at my use, and I didn't have enough actual lavs that I had gotten extra for, so I went ahead and used the ones that came with the pack. And although that would have been a little bit of an issue, the Zoom LiveTrack L12, it's a lot of names, by the way. The Zoom LiveTrack L12 has its own, parametric equalizer with 3 channels that you select, and so I was able to counter some of the mid drops that happens in those kinds of lavs pretty easily. For boom mics, I went for the tried and true Sennheiser MKE 600 with the P1 from X5 to also make it a wireless boom, so I can just keep it in the corners since it was a monologue and a slate and a scene with no moving camera other than a dolly push-in. So I figured all I had to do was just put that boy on a C-stand, put it higher than where the camera is the farthest, and then just stay out of the way of the camera crew. Laving up the talents was pretty easy for the most part. Very super straight to the point. Everybody was super happy. Of course, you got the actors that are super nervous, but as long as you give them, a good conversation to have with, they'll know it's, sound is not that scary. And honestly, if you're good company to them, they'll always trust you. So that's one of the perks. Don't have one of the mics that I used over there. I'm gonna go ahead and use a Ceramonics iPhone lavalier to demonstrate this. But what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make 2 footballs with your medical tape, and I'll show you. It's kind of like you did in grade school, but essentially what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to fold the sticky side back to make it 2 in triangle. And then you're going to want to bring the other side in and then flip that over. And since it's all the sticky side, it's just a couple tiny footballs. So I got 2 here that I pre-made. You're just going to want to sandwich them together. Now this step varies on the polar pattern of your microphone. So I would go ahead and address that to make sure that you're not putting it over one of your polar pattern spots so that you don't got any, because that's what that comes from, is the stickiness whenever they move. So next step, what I usually like to do is I ask them to, put this on themselves, because it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be under your shirt. And the ideal place to put them, depending on your polar pattern, like I said, would be right here on the chest. Right there is a really good spot. You could just hang it right there. Imagine this is just under the shirt, and just make sure that it stays there. Make them do a little bit of movement, everything like that. It should be fine. There are other ways you can do it. If they're wearing a flannel, you can go ahead and place it right there, facing where the mic is shooting out. You angle it towards their mouth. You kind of make do with what you have, so it's hiding behind there and it's not going over 2 layers. Then it can get as complicated as doing spaghetti strap stuff, where it's like you're hanging over, the cable is hanging over like that in the middle of a spaghetti strap, and then when it curves in, you could probably do something like along the sorts of that. But yeah, that's essentially how I mic'd up the 9 talents. Just did that with each of them, depending on what their costume looked like, adjusted to them accordingly, and then went to the Zoom live track to test the audio, make sure there was no stickiness in the audio, and that they could walk around. Yeah, it's pretty chill.
All right, we just wrapped on the gig. My audio is probably really bad because it's coming from my car, but yeah, so far they like what happened. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah!
I'd say the gig went pretty smoothly. Everyone seemed to be pretty happy that sound was out of the way. So, if sound's out of the way, everybody loves it. If it's out of the way and good, dude, money. You're good at your job. And that's how easy it is. And I felt like I did a pretty good job, because the director came up to me, gave me an unprompted handshake, which is pretty honorable and says a lot in the South where I'm from. So I'd say it was a pretty good gig. Nothing feels better than whenever you get a firm handshake at the end and say thank you for what you did. That's pretty chill. But yeah, that's pretty much it for episode 2 of Ride Along. Tune in next time so we can do another gig and you can see what's up with the technical business. See ya.